Hundreds of thousands of federal workers, meantime, are working without pay, and they're beginning to feel the impact.
They are losing a combined, get this, $1.4 billion a week. Adriana Diaz spoke to one of the more than 13,000 EPA workers who are wondering how to pay their bills.
It's my job, it's my livelihood, it's how I put food on the table for my children.
When Sara Waterson left work on New Year's Eve, she still had a job, but no sense of security.
So you have to go to your landlord and say, I don't know how I'm going to pay you. I've never had to do that.
The former Marine now works as an office manager for the EPA in Kansas. How does it feel for someone who has a full-time job, works for the federal government, to have to go to their landlord and ask for, I don't even know what to call it,
mercy?
The mother of two is the family's primary breadwinner. She received her last paycheck at the end of December. Have you started thinking about where you might save if this shutdown goes longer?
We're trying to cut the grocery bills just down to the necessities. I mean, we don't live extravagantly, so it's hard to cut out any bills.
Do your kids sense that something's going on?
Absolutely. They want to know why there aren't certain foods in the house. They want to know why we can't go out to eat.
To try to help, the government provided sample letters last month that federal employees can show creditors, explaining why they're struggling to pay their bills. According to the real estate website Zillow, unpaid federal workers will owe $438 million this month in mortgage and rent payments. Do you think it's worth keeping the government shutdown going on in order to potentially get funding for the border wall?
I don't know that it's worth the livelihoods of people. I don't know that anything would be worth that.
That was Adriana Diaz in, Adriana, actually, you are here. You're in Lenox, I think it was. So, Andrea, the president has said that the shutdown could last months or even years. Is the employee that you spoke to, Sara Waterson, prepared for anything close to that? Most people can sort of float their bills for maybe a couple of weeks, ask for a delay, but then after that, they start to run into problems.
She's getting very concerned, Anne-Marie, because she said the 2019 was supposed to be the year where they finally had a little bit of a savings account. And she said they're starting out just barely making it. And she calculated the bills. She's the one that does all the financial planning in the house. And she says she's frustrated because she can't fix this. She can't plan for this. Right now, they've paid their January bills, most of them. But for February, that's going to be the struggle. She has $300 in her bank account right now. Her husband is still getting paid, but his salary doesn't cover the family expenses. She says February 1st is their end date. That is the time where they won't be able to survive past that without getting help from family members or trying to figure out if she's going to have to take on temporary work.
You mentioned in your report there sample letters from the federal government for workers to send to creditors. What was Sara's reaction to that?
She knew about those sample letters. A lot of federal workers know about them. When we were traveling here to Kansas from Chicago, I spoke to the TSA worker and I said, what did you think of those letters that the government sent out in a tweet? He said, you know, it's an embarrassment. That's what Sara said also. She said, you know, we shouldn't be in the position where we're having to ask for mercy, as she said, or ask for help or for leniency for something that's out of our control. She said she is proud to be a full-time worker. She wants to go to work. And the fact that the government sent those sample letters was a hard and tough pill to swallow, but she did say she thought that they were probably written up with the best of intentions for the government to help federal employees, because she said the people that wrote those letters are in the same boat as everybody else. People aren't getting paid because of this government shutdown, and she hopes that there's a deal made soon.
So meantime, the EPA does very valuable, important work protecting the rest of us. How many of her colleagues are in the same boat, and how concerned are they, not just about their income, but about the work that's not getting done during this time?
Well, for the EPA in particular, they provide a public service to protect public health. And a lot of the employees at her office are working on projects that clean up toxic situations, that are monitoring the air and the water. And so they've had to put those projects on hold. And some people are concerned that if those projects are on hold for too long, it could affect public health and public safety. Actually, Sara said that her son was particularly concerned because she said he knows what mommy does, that mommy works to keep us all safe. So seeing her home these past few days and weeks, seeing her home home has concerned him because he said to her, "Mom, if you're here, who's keeping everyone safe?"
Yeah, you know, out of the mouths of babes, right?
Indeed.
Adriana Diaz, thank you so much.